Hey guys, welcome to another video on Bharat in Germany. My name is Bharat, and in this video, we have a special guest with us who is Sharvari, and she's studying something very interesting. Many people might not be knowing Germany about it, and that is like biophysics, biology, Sharvari. Am I getting it right?
Cell, cell biology.
That's why I'm going to let Sharvari introduce herself, tell us about her course and her experience of moving to Germany and living here. Sharvari, welcome to the call. Tell us a bit about yourself, and then we jump into our questions.
Hi, I'm Sharvari. I did a bachelor's in India with biotechnology, chemistry, and zoology as my majors. It was a 3-year bachelor program, and now I'm doing a 2-year master program in Goethe University, Frankfurt. It's a cell biology and biophysics program. And yeah, apart from academics, I'm a singer. I was in a band.
It's very interesting. I mean, like, not many people are singing alongside their studies. So, what's the story there, Sharvi?
Well, it's I've been singing all my life, so it was very natural for me to just try to engage in such activities, and I was very interested in giving stage performances and experimenting with different forms of music. So naturally, I ended up joining a band with some very close friends back in my bachelor's, and yeah, we were doing some gigs. We won some fests, and so yeah, it was a university band, and unfortunately, we're not together anymore. But that's because I'm here, and but maybe I can continue that journey here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, you can find places of interest like generally everywhere, but it's just because of the pandemic, things have been so crazy that I think like people have this stigma now that like they don't really understand if they should like reach out to somebody, or like if meeting in person would be fine, or organizing with each other things would be fine, and so on.
Mhm.
So I think like this entire time comes with its own challenges, but hopefully it
Yeah,
gets better.
yeah, it kind of has thrown off the balance completely, and but I'm pretty sure like everything we will get back to normal.
Don't you feel like it, like previously you would want to meet a friend, you wouldn't
Yeah,
think about it twice. You want
yeah.
to be in a group, you wouldn't think about it twice. Now you have to say,
Mhm.
okay, like what are the COVID regulations, what are this, what is that, and it just really sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're not motivated enough, you're just like, yeah, I might as well just stay home.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not so nice. But I think things are becoming better.
It's never the same, so I think it's, if you're calling somebody on Zoom, if you're like texting to somebody on WhatsApp, or like just having video calls and stuff, like yes, like you're talking to each other, like you're present online, but you don't feel the presence of that person. That you only feel when you're actually like face to face with them,
Mhm.
how they
Yeah,
behave, their gestures and things like that. And yeah, I think hopefully this gets better with the vaccination and everything going on. So
yeah.
I really like, did this like kind of make things more difficult for you during this time when you were like trying to settle in Germany?
It was definitely more easier than I thought it was going to be, just because I found really nice people here. And I tried my best to make as many connections as possible. And yes, the COVID times were hard, but we still tried to meet up as safely as possible. We used to take corona tests and try to meet whenever we could. So, especially in the beginning, because I came during winter as well, it was a little lonely and gloomy. And I think Corona just made it a little worse, but it wasn't anything too drastic, I would say. So I was still occasionally meeting up friends, but there wasn't a lot to do. So I did come to a new country, and I was very excited to see the culture, experience new things, but I just couldn't do it because
Mhm.
of the obvious reasons, and that was annoying. But I waited, and now in the summer, almost everything is open, and I feel like I'm doing normal things again. So in the beginning, yeah, it wasn't. But when it comes to accommodation or acclimatization, I didn't find it that difficult.
Mhm.
Maybe because I also came from a big city back home. I came from Bangalore or Bengaluru. So I came from there to another big city, Frankfurt. So it didn't feel a big cultural shock for me.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, like that's definitely nice. We were in Bangalore, I think only once, no, two times for our meetups. And man, I think like the
Mhm.
time it took for us to go from the airport to the place
Uh,
we had to like have the meetup, that was like absolutely insane. But
Oh yeah.
are things getting better there or something, Shiveri, when you were coming, or is it like still a bit the same with the traffic?
Oh, I think it will just get worse. There's,
No
I
hope.
don't know. It would take a big mindset change in people for it to get any better. Like, of course, the introduction of metro and things like that has made it, I think, a little easier to
Mm,
commute to different places in short time. But unless people decide to take the bicycle more often than go in their SUV alone
mm.
to their workspaces and something like that, it's not going to get any better.
What is your experience on, like, we're talking about traffic anyway, so and like public transportation and so on. So can you like maybe give me some differences that you feel right now, like in Frankfurt versus Bangalore?
All right, so major differences. First of all, public transport is really reliable here, in contrast to back home. So here it's punctual most of the time, but it's generally punctual and very quick, very efficient. You have an app that tells you at what time your train would arrive there, if there's delays and stuff, so you can always calculate your day, and I think that is really efficient. So that and yeah, you so that's one of the great advantages of studying in Frankfurt, I would say, in Goethe University, is that when I pay my semester fee, I basically get a ticket, a semester ticket, with which I can travel not just in Frankfurt for free, but also all throughout Hessen for free, which is a very big advantage because we take the public transport so often, and therefore it is definitely worth it
Hmm.
to pay your semester fee and get a free ticket. And not just that, there are so many opportunities to do internships around Frankfurt. So they don't, there are companies that are not in, or institutes that are not in Frankfurt, but outside. They're like Bad Nauheim, Bad Homburg, and things like that. And because public transport is free all throughout my state, Hessen, I can have no second thoughts about traveling, and I don't have any hesitations because it's free.
Hmm.
And it's also very well connected and very fast.
Hmm.
So public transport works like a dream here.
That's very nice. I think this is a massive differentiator for, I think,
Yeah.
like many people to just like get better access to better opportunities, because just the thought of like going to a particular place and then shelling out like 10-20 euros whatsoever, like it still is a barrier. And like if you just completely take that away, especially for students, I think for them to just like kind of grow and experience more things becomes so much easier. I think like that's something which is very underrated in Germany. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, with the semester contribution, like not that you have a choice. I mean, you have to like pay it anyways. And if you're getting this benefit, like, why not? So, Sharvi, tell me a bit about your course. Like, how is it structured? What kind of evaluation methods are inside? And then we, in the end, talk about the differences of studying in India versus Germany.
So mine is a 2-year master program. So the first 3 semesters are generally composed of lectures and internships. And the last semester, the fourth semester, is where you do your master's thesis. And there is a lot of flexibility. And again, this depends on each course in Germany, but I can say generally that they are very practical oriented, especially when it comes to biology. And because that's what I study, so I can only speak for that. I found that a lot of courses in India were very theory oriented. They would teach you a lot of theory, but not much when it comes to applications of that theory in practical
Hmm.
labs or things like that. And that is a major drawback that I found in India when compared to in Germany.
Hmm.
So my course, in the first 3 semesters, they teach us all the molecular methods required that can be used in industry in the future or to do a PhD.
Hmm.
So it's very intensive. It's very educational, and lectures are really great.
Hmm.
And again, I have to stress that I am doing an English master program. So it's completely taught in English. Everybody in the lab, all my teachers, all my friends, everybody speaks English. And yeah, so and then you have exams, and there is certain weightage given to the exams, but it's not very heavily weighted. More weightage is given to the internships that you do. Depends on the program. For example, my program requires me to do at least 3 internships in the span of 3 semesters. And these internships I can do anywhere, so I have the flexibility. I can do it in industry, I can do it in my university or another institute. So around Frankfurt there are many institutes like the Max Planck Institute, really reputed ones, the Paul Ehrlich Institute, again super reputed when it comes to immunology and things, and other institutes like the Bookman Institute. And really high quality research happens here. Cutting edge novel innovations and research is going on in these institutions, and you can go find an internship there and work with them for 4 to 6 to 8 weeks and gain a lot of practical exposure and knowledge. So not only do you get a lot of knowledge, but it also looks great on your resume, which is amazing, I think. So the first 3 semesters usually go in this, and a lot of weightage is given to the protocols that you write after doing the internships. And then the last semester, you can do your master's thesis. That also you can do it anywhere you wish. You can do it in Germany, you can do it abroad, you can do it in industry, in an institute, anywhere you wish. And the master's thesis usually lasts for 6 months, but you can do it for less than 6 months. You can do it for more than 6 months. You can extend your semester. Nobody really puts any boundaries on these things. You can do it as freely as you like. Another thing I would like to mention is that there is an opportunity to do exchange programs, which I think is really great. So in the first 3 semesters, or any semester really, you can choose to do an Erasmus exchange. And usually people think, oh yeah, Erasmus is only for European nationals, but that's not true. You can, as an international student, also apply and get this Erasmus scholarship and do it in any European country of your choice. You will get a little bit of stipend from Erasmus, so you get some money when you're doing this program. It might or might not be enough for you, but I think the exposure in itself is great. And not only do you get to meet different people, different cultures, but also travel Europe. And I think that's just incredible.
Exchange program, Shaivi, do you like also have other, let's say, Southeast Asian universities or something as partner universities? I mean, should be there with the Goethe Institute, this university, right?
Yes, I'm not interested in the exchange program because personally, for me to move again to another city or town is kind of difficult, I think. But I know a lot of people who still, make a move within the semester and do an exchange program. So yes, Goethe University, again, depends definitely on the course because Goethe University offers so many courses. But in my course, you can do an Erasmus in Spain and Prague, in Finland, and so forth. So they do have some partner university, like the Charles University, I guess, in Prague. They have these partnerships with the Granada University in Spain and things like that. And yeah, you can do it for 6 months or a little more than 6 months as well. And mostly they just want that you complete certain modules that you have in your home university. In Goethe University, if I were to do my semester here, what modules I would take here and what I would learn here is also something that they expect from the partner university. So if I'm also in the exchange program, then I need to still keep the same level of education, learn the same kind of things that I would learn just in a different university and maybe in different practical courses. So that's the only thing they care about. One thing is that, yes, in like anything in Germany, it involves a lot of paperwork, which can be a little annoying. But I think if the experience is great, then it's worth it.
Yeah. I mean, paperwork is something that you can just not find a way out, especially in Germany.
Yeah.
But you know, we can't change a few things, so like we have to live with that. So
Yeah.
other than that, like let's talk a bit about your experience of studying in India versus now in Germany. Like what kind of major differences do you see there?
First of all, people are super nice here. Not just, of course, the scientists and the professors are really, really nice and really approachable. But even the general public, I would say, is really nice. For example, personally, I haven't faced any hatred or racism here. And I've been here for close to a year now. And I think it also depends where you go in Germany. For example, I'm in Frankfurt, which is really international. And I think, and I've heard that if you go to smaller towns, maybe sometimes to the east of Germany, then it can be that you might experience certain racism and discrimination. But so far, I haven't had any bad experiences. Coming to university life, like I said, the people are really nice and approachable, and everybody speaks in English, which is always nice if you don't know German very well. And you can always ask for help. You can always, and even if you try to speak in German, they will always help you out, even though your German is really not very good. I think that's just great, and they're very understanding of that, and they just appreciate that you're even trying. And yeah, the main thing I noticed is that they're open. They're open-minded, open to ideas, open to collaborations. And if they see that you're making an effort, if they see you're hardworking and interested, then they will be more than happy to take you under their wing and give you the guidance that they can offer, which is something unfortunately I didn't get in India. I had to struggle a lot to find internships or to find really any kind of encouragement
Mm,
from my professors. It took, like, I had to convince them to um, I don't know, support me in my scientific interests. When in really it should be the other way around. They should be happy to guide you, but usually they weren't, and they thought it as a burden. But here they are just happy, and they go out of their way to make things work for you if they think that you are dedicated enough. And I think
mm.
that is very important as a student, especially a young student who's just figuring out things in their career. I think it's really important.
Absolutely. I think like that's what I always like really think that like professors are professors because they have so much experience, they know so many things. And most of them should know like how students behave. You know, when you're like just entering the bachelor's, not many people have the even the desire to do some kind of like enter into research work or like study these subjects and so on. Many times you're just thrown into that. And I think like many times if you see like some good teachers or professors, like they take the burden of like making that subject interesting or like making that particular program fun for the students. And like this is something I've actually come across like I think 2-3 times in Germany, like when like professors are coming up with different kind of even like sometimes some comic strips or something in the like presentations, and that's like so much fun. Problem
Mhm.
based learning session, so like they give you a fake project or something in the starting, you work on it, you come up with the solution till the end. All of these
Mhm.
things are like they were definitely very interesting.
Mhm.
Now
Yeah.
in your journey, Sharvi, of like coming to Germany, of course you must have come across like other people too who were saying that okay, like it's a 3-year bachelor's program or something, it's not really possible to study in Germany and so on, because that there's a huge myth about this. I just don't understand it. Like did you
Mhm.
see these things, and like was it like hampering your process in the starting or something, or like what was your experience with this in general, like Germany is equal to engineering? Did you hear something like that?
Yes, for sure. So, in my first year or second year of bachelor's, I was already thinking about studying abroad. And I was just talking to a lot of people. And I think that's something that everybody should do. Just, try to reach out to as many people and just hear them out, because everybody has something new to tell you. So I was talking to a lot of people, and most of my seniors were just telling me, yeah, it's not possible. Either you need to know really good German, or you need to have a 4-year bachelor's program for you to get into Germany. And I heard very mixed. Some people would say you don't need either of these things, and some people would say you do need both these things. So I decided to just hear them out. And the more and more I heard, the more I realized that German is not really very essential as much as they say, and a 3-year bachelor program is good enough in most cases. So the second thing that I did, first thing was talking to people. Second thing was doing my own research, which is just spending hours and hours on DAAD and other websites. There are so many good websites like Study in Germany and so many things like that, where you can put in your interests, like which course you're interested in, what language you want to study it in, and it'll give you a bunch of options. So just going through every single option, going through the website of the particular university and the course website, and I made a decision, I made a conclusion that you don't need, absolutely need German for many English taught programs. And when I say you don't need German, obviously you will need German to have a day-to-day life here, to make
Mm.
it easy. I mean to say you don't need a proficiency, you don't need an A2 certificate as part of the entry requirement for the master program. Because most of these English taught international master programs here are looking to attract international students, and they understand that not everybody knows German and will have a German certificate. So most of the programs don't have that in their requirement. And I applied to the ones that didn't ask for that kind of requirement. And they said that if I had so many credits, or if I had done these kind of modules, like if I had studied biochemistry, if I had studied molecular biology, microbiology, immunology, then I would be eligible. So I assumed, because I had done these modules in my bachelor's, I assumed that I would be eligible. And anyway, I gave it a shot by applying to the universities. So I would say just do your research, because 3-year bachelor's is definitely enough. And if you have a German certificate, I think it makes it more easier. You can apply to more courses. But even if you don't, your chances of applying and getting in are really still pretty good.
To wrap it up, Charvery, like, are there some other tips or things that you wish that you would have known when you were coming to Germany that you would like to give to the viewers?
Well, I not really, because I did very good research before I came, so I try to prepare myself in every angle. Um, yeah. One thing I would like to tell you is that, yeah, as everybody knows, there is no semester fee here, right? So you're pretty much studying for free, let's say, because you're not paying the university a lot. You're just paying mostly towards your transportation and so forth. So compared to other universities abroad, you're really not paying a lot. Not just that, but you can also get a Hiwi here. For example, I'm employed in a Hiwi. What's a Hiwi? It's a Hilfswissenschaftler, which is a mini job or like a research assistant job. And you can basically be employed in an academic setting in a lab and get paid pretty decently for the amount of hours that you put in. And that by doing this side job, you can pretty much make enough money to make enough money to for your expenses of that month.
Mhm.
So not only by the end of your master's, you have a really good degree from a reputed university with quality education, but you are also not going to be in debt
Yeah,
by the end of your master's. And I think that's the best thing that you can ask for.
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so an option to do a Hibi, I think I don't know how it is in other countries, but I think Germany offers that and to international students as well, and I think it's a blessing. So not only does it look great on your resume that you have been working for so many months in this setting, in this academic setting, but also you get paid, and it contributes constructively to the education that you've been receiving there. And yeah, it's perfect.
Exactly. I think like one of the biggest things that I really like about Germany is that like you don't force somebody onto like, 40, $50,000 of like, tuition fee, and you can still do relatively fine when you're coming here. Of course, like studying in Germany is not free in the sense that you will never have any expenses. You have your living costs, you have your apartment, groceries, and so on. But like not
Mhm.
having to pay this tuition fee, like that's such a big burden off that like you don't have to go into minus of your net worth before you like start making some money afterwards.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Fabri, thank you so much for taking out the time. It was lovely talking to you, and we'll see you around. Bye.
Bye.